Hey y'all, and welcome to Team Darley. My name is Amy, this is my husband Chance, and my two kiddos, Kason and Gracie June, and our dog Cooper. We live in the Savannah, Georgia area, and we are so excited that you're here to hang out with us today. We hope you'll subscribe to hang out with us even more in future videos. Today's video is going to be a what's for dinner, and I'm going to be sharing with you 4 easy and delicious recipes that our family absolutely loves. The first recipe that we're going to start with is Caprese Chicken, and I'm going to actually have all of these recipes linked down in the description box in case you want to try them out for yourselves. The first thing I did was add 2 tablespoons of balsamic and 2 tablespoons of garlic to a bowl and mix it together. And if you are not a fan of garlic, you can use less or completely omit it, but we absolutely love garlic in our house. I feel like it makes everything taste better, so we use a good bit. Now we're just gonna bake our chicken at 400 degrees for about 20 minutes, and then we're gonna go ahead and start making the topping to go on top. Now for this recipe, I ended up using a whole purple onion. You probably could use only half, or you could completely omit this as well, just like with the garlic. If you're not a fan of the onion, then just leave it out. Now, anytime that we have to cut up vegetables or chop them up, then I like to use this little chopper that I got off of Amazon. It's inexpensive and it works really good, so I'll have a link to that below. Now I'm just adding in a couple handfuls of halved tomatoes, little Roma tomatoes, 2 tablespoons more of garlic, and then a tablespoon of balsamic vinegar and a tablespoon of olive oil. And then the next thing I add is some parsley. I add about a handful. I'm not really sure the exact measurement. I just kind of eyeballed it, and then a little bit of salt. Now I tried to find this recipe so that I could link it for you guys, but for some reason I can't find it. So I'm actually going to type this recipe out in the description box, but if I were you, I'd probably go ahead and put this entire mixture on top of the chicken when you begin to bake it in the first place. But we went ahead and baked our chicken first based on the recipe that I cannot find, and then we put mozzarella on top, and then our little mixture that we just made on top of that. And then you'll need to bake it for another 10 to 15 minutes, just making sure that your chicken is cooked all the way through. And this is what it looks like when it's all finished. It was so delicious, but like I said, you could put that mixture on if you want your tomatoes a little bit more cooked. You could put that on at the beginning, which I think I will try next time. And we just served it with a little side salad. It was so delicious, and we'll definitely be making this one again. Recipe number 2 is Mexican sweet pepper nachos. First thing that we did was cut our bell peppers in half and de-seeded them, and then just spread them all out on the pan. Next, we're just going to brown our meat, and then after it's completely done, we're gonna go ahead and add in a packet of taco seasoning, whatever taco seasoning you prefer, and just a tad bit of water to cook with, just to season our meat. Now, since my kids won't eat bell peppers, we took a little bit of our taco meat and put it to the side just for right now, and we're gonna actually make them soft shell tacos while we eat the mini bell pepper nachos. Next, you're gonna add in a can of Rotel to your taco meat. Now, the recipe says to use salsa, but we decided just to use Rotel because we prefer that better, but you can use whatever you want. And then we just stirred it around in the pan just to heat it up a little bit with the meat. Now we're gonna add our taco meat into our mini bell peppers, and then we're gonna start putting on all of our toppings. We just use shredded Mexican cheese and jalapenos, but you guys feel free to add whatever toppings you like on your nachos. Now you're just gonna bake your nachos for 5 to 7 minutes on 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Now at this point, when your nachos are done, you could take and just drizzle on some sour cream or whatever else you want to drizzle on top, and then just eat it straight from the pan. But we decided to take ours and just put them in bowls, and we put sour cream on top and ended up using a fork to eat them. If you do it this way, I would cut your bell peppers up a little bit smaller because they were kind of hard to get bite-sized pieces with a fork, but they did turn out really good. Yum! Gracie June's got some cheddar on her chips, some little nachos.
Guys, try this at home because it's good.
The next recipe that we're going to be doing is air fryer sweet potatoes and then pan seared steaks. Now you could do your sweet potatoes in the oven if you want to, but we have an air fryer, so we've been trying lots of different air fryer recipes lately, and these turned out so good. So definitely check the description box for this recipe. Now the first thing that we're doing is adding all of these ingredients to a bowl just to create our seasoning that we're going to put on our sweet potatoes. Next, you're going to cut your sweet potato wedges and then toss it in a little bit of canola oil and then toss it into your seasonings to get it all coated. Now we're just putting our potato wedges into our air fryer, and then we're going to cook it on 400 for 20 minutes. Now while the potato wedges are cooking in the air fryer, Chance was cooking the steaks on the stove, and he just seasoned them with a little bit of Worcestershire sauce and Montreal Steak seasoning, and then while he was cooking he threw in just a little bit of oil, butter, some thyme, and some garlic. He cooked it on the stove for about 5 to 7 minutes on each side, just until you get it cooked to however you like your steaks. When the potato wedges were done, this is what they look like. They turned out really good, and then we ended up cooking some 90-second Uncle Ben's rice in the microwave, and this is what we had for dinner. And the last recipe that I'm going to share is air fryer chicken wings and balsamic honey Brussels sprouts. The first thing that we're going to do is season our chicken wings, and Chance is just putting a little bit of salt and pepper and then some cornstarch, and we're just going to rub the cornstarch into the chicken wings. Now Chance said probably a better way to do this next time would be to put them in a bag and throw the cornstarch in the bag so that it coats the chicken a little bit more evenly. Next, we ended up cooking 2 batches, so we put our wings inside of the air fryer and cooked it for 20 minutes on 400 degrees, and then after those were done, we started eating and we cooked the other batch while we were eating dinner. Now for the Brussels sprouts, we are going to cut these up, and we just chop them up pretty small. I would actually chop them up as small as you can just because I feel like they come out better, but you do them however you like your Brussels sprouts. Next, I'm adding just a little bit of oil to a pan, and I'm going to put my Brussels sprouts in here and let them cook until they are soft and just cook to the way that we like them. Now, I prefer them not so crunchy. I like them to be a little bit crispy and burnt. So that's how we did it. Now that our Brussels sprouts are cooked, I'm going to add in some balsamic vinegar and some honey, and I did not measure this, I just poured it in, and then I would just suggest adding a little bit at a time, and then if you want to add more, add more. We like a good bit, so that's what we did. Now our chicken wings are done, and this is what they look like when they are finished, and we're just going to add on some lemon pepper seasoning, and then for our dipping sauces we ended up using this Texas Pete wing sauce, and then I wanted something that was a little sweet and spicy, so we got this House of Sang General Tso sauce, and it was so good. It was probably our favorite, and then of course we have some ranch to go with our hot wing sauce. Now this recipe was super easy, it turned out so good, and we can't wait to make it again. Alright, so those were our 4 what's for dinner recipes for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it gave you some new recipes to try, and like I said, all the air fryer stuff can be done in the oven as well, so if you don't have an air fryer, it's okay, you can cook those in the oven. But if you are looking for an air fryer, I'll link the one that we have down in the description box. Now, if you're new, don't forget to hit the subscribe button before you leave and click the bell and then the word all so you get notified when we post new videos. I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!